Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Dofus, episodes 20 and 21. That's right, we're back with 2 more episodes this week, and yeah, this series is proving to be a lot better than I originally gave it credit for, and I'm just hoping it continues to be so. Now, of course, not every episode is great. Some episodes are just meh, and others are even not that good at all. But I'm hoping that overall, we end up just really enjoying this series. Now, as I've said before, there will be a point where we will want to take a break in terms of just coming back to Dofus later on. Because Dofus is pretty long, all things considered, and I just don't want to spend like forever on it, you know? We want to be able to react to some other stuff as well. And it's like, I will finish it, obviously. It's not like I'm going to just leave it unfinished forever. No. So let me check real quick. I just want to see exactly how many episodes there are. I was trying to find it like other places besides Kim Cartoon. Okay, so there's 52 episodes. We're not quite halfway through. About halfway through would basically be episodes, what? Like 26? Yeah, 26. 26 would be about halfway through. But I think this would actually be a good point for a break. Because even though, like, obviously some of this stuff we watched well in the past, like last year and stuff, and we haven't, like, watched, like, a shit ton since coming back, I don't know, I think it's a good point for us to really just have a break and everything. Because how many weeks have we been recording this since we came back from things? This is our 7th week since coming back. And that's not even necessarily straight in a row, because there are like a couple weeks where we didn't have Dofus reactions. So maybe our like 9th or 10th week total since returning to this. And we have other stuff that we want to get to on Fridays for the Mega Stream donation reactions. So I'm thinking that after this week, we're going to take a break from Dofus. We're going to get on to something else, and then we'll come back to Dofus later. Kind of like spread it out a little bit, so it's not always just, again, the same thing over and over for too long. I know there's a lot of reactors out there who are fine with reacting to the same show completely all the way through, especially even long shows like Gumball or whatever else, Adventure Time. Reactors like Rarity Dash is a great example of that. But me personally, I'm one of those people who has trouble sticking with the same thing for too long, because I get bored by it. And if I watch the same thing for way too long at a time, I'll end up just losing interest, and it will hurt my overall interest in continuing. And I don't want that to happen with Dofus when I'm actually starting to enjoy it, you know? I don't want my interest in it to drop and eventually end up dropping the show because my interest just dropped out of boredom from it. But yeah, either way, that's kind of how we're going to have to do things for now. So I'll talk more about that in the afterthoughts. But this will be coming into effect, like I said, right away. We're not going to waste any time with it. We're just going to get right into it. This will be the last week of Dofus for at least some time. I don't know exactly how long it'll be. Depends on how long this next thing that we're watching is. Yada, yada, you get the idea. So the next thing that will be in line, though, if I look this up real quick, I do want to check this real quick. Is it not on this list? Oh, no, it is on this list. Never mind. The next thing for this slot is reincarnated as a slime, which is an anime series. So that will be coming up next week, basically. And I apologize for all of you who are really enjoying my Dofus reactions. And again, I'm not dropping it. It's just being put on hold for a while. I'm going to get to reincarnated as a slime, and then we'll be back with Dofus probably right after that. And how many episodes is reincarnated as a slime? 24 episodes and 2 OVAs. Okay. And we'll just kind of take that as we go. I might not even like reincarnated as a slime. You never know. So we're going to give it a chance, though, and kind of take it from there. Either way, back to the point of this reaction, though. So yeah, Dofus is, again, there's not really much of an ongoing story aside from those 2 EOP ladies, but that's pretty much it. I assume that will continue to be an ongoing thing and that will be resolved by the end of the series, but otherwise I have no idea what else we're going to get into because it's very episodic. So not really much else to speak about in my pre-thoughts here. So for now, we're just going to get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This is a mixed set for me. I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one that much. And let me explain why. So the first one, with Kerub and Bashi's kind of backstory, how they met and everything, and how they initially became friends. So Kerub was a servant at the Ecaflip Temple, and he was tasked with going to pick up the snappers, fish, for Ecaflip, basically. Just getting him his daily fish. But on the way back, he kept running into these rogues, or rogues in training, I guess, who kept stealing the snappers. He made friends with Bashi during this time, and even though he and Bashi tried to stop them, they ended up getting beat up, and because of their own lies, really nothing good came out of it. But they eventually made up and told the truth and worked together to outsmart the rogues, cursing them with those cursed snappers from the stream. And everything kind of worked out in the end. We do know at some point in the future they do kind of split apart and become more of rivals. And I don't remember if we heard how that happened or not. You're going to have to tell me in the comments below. We might have, but I just can't remember. But yeah, this episode was just really fun and entertaining. I like the concept of how they met. I like the opening with how Kerub is telling the story to Joris, who's having troubles with his own friend. And I really enjoy how it's paced and what happens in it. It's just fun to watch. The second episode, however, yeah. Once again, Kerub is made to seem so fucking OP and so much of a Gary Stew, it's not funny. And I know that overall he's not. I know that we've seen now and again he messes up, he has his problems, he's not perfect. I mean, heck, the first episode of this set proved that. But at the same time, this episode still painted him in such a way. I mean, the idea that he went to the moon, granted with Diane, like was the first person in the moon, and it's like it's kind of implied that he and Diane did it on their own, that they had no help from anyone. the idea that he's just like that everything kind of goes perfectly. The only exception, of course, being Diane choosing to stay. It's just like the. It's just unbelievable. It's not believable. And I get it that Kerub does exaggerate things in his stories. He's very much that kind of character. But at the same time, there we see in the present day, we see Diane heading to a new planet, and we have to assume that this is real. We have to assume that this is a legitimate thing that's happening. And that all of the events, at least to a very high degree, happened as was stated. And it just makes Kerub come across as extremely overpowered and just. And I get that he's an Eka flip and luck is kind of their thing as well, but at the same time, it's like there's a certain point where you can have characters who have good luck, where it just gets way too much. And this is one of those examples. He's one of those characters that when they do episodes like this, it just does not work in my eyes. It just makes him seem like too much, like he's too powerful. I want more episodes like the first one we had in this set, where he's shown to have his faults. And granted, he was a kid in the first episode here, but that's also kind of a problem, because it's like, okay, we'll see him have more of these mistakes when he's younger, but when he's like more of the normal age we see him in most often, he is almost always perfect, and things are almost always going his way. And it's just, I want to see him fail more often. I want to see stories where he's telling Joris that he's not perfect, that he has all of these problems. Heck, I would, if they somehow, like, at some point revealed that a lot of these stories were lies and that he got these things from other places, that would even fix things. Because that would reveal that he had been lying this entire time, and that that most of these stories, especially concerned where he's where it's just making him look better and better, are false, and that would actually help solve the problem. But as of now, we have to assume that he's telling the truth, at least, again, to a majority degree. Again, he may be exaggerating on some things, but it's just, there's not enough to believe that he's exaggerating that much. I don't know, maybe it's just that I don't like characters who are constantly shown as perfect, who are constantly succeeding in everything they do without much of any issue. And I think that's why I like shows like Ruby and She-Ra so much, because we see the main characters of those shows fail time and time again. Yes, in the end, they succeed and continue on, but those successes only happen after many, many failures. Many, many problems that come their way that they're not able to work past. And even when they do succeed, a lot of those successes come with trouble, with problems. And it's not easy for them. Like, honestly, with the apathy grim in Ruby in the recent volume, when they're down in the cellar and all, and the apathy are overtaking them, the apathy are winning. In all senses, the apathy are completely overtaking them. Ruby only wins because Maria notices her eyes. Ruby is only able to defeat the apathy because of that. If she hadn't noticed, they would have died. I am positive about that. They would have died down there. And they were that close to death. It was that close. And all because the team had no way to fight against these things, no way to stop them. Because they're not perfect, because they're not like the strongest huntresses and huntsmen and all of that out there. They're going to face these troubles. And we're going to continue to see that. But in this, it's like Kerub almost always wins. There are a few occasions where he'll fail at something, or where he'll be wrong, or where he'll have a lot of trouble with whatever story he's telling to Joris. But most of the time, that's not the case, and it's really annoying me, if I'm being honest. And again, I understand that part of his character is supposed to be his amazing luck. I get that, but you can have good luck and not be perfect most of the time. It just annoys me a little bit, and I really hope that they show more of his failures going forward. But as I said in the pre-thoughts, we are going to be taking a break from Dofus. And honestly, with how I feel after that last episode there, that's probably a good thing. We're going to be taking a break from Dofus starting next week, and we're going to be moving on to, which one was it? Reincarnated as a Slime, I believe. I believe that's the one that's next. Let me just check real quick. Yes. We will be moving on to that time I was reincarnated as a slime. So that will take place on Fridays from here on out with Dragon Prince. And whether we finish this that series or not, who knows? We'll see. But Dofus will return. Once again, it is not being dropped. It is just being put on hold for now because I want to take a little bit of a break from it. But it will return at some point in the future. If we do end up watching through all of Shield Hero, it will probably be right after that. Or not Shield Hero, wrong show. Slime. Shield Hero is on lists for the future, though. Because people have suggested that one. But Reincarnated as a Slime. If we do watch through all of that, if I do really enjoy it, we'll probably end up doing Dofus again after that. But for the time being, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the reaction either way. And yeah, tell me again in the comments, did we see how Kerub and Bashi's friendship kind of ended and how they became more of rivals/enemies? Did we actually see that? Because I don't remember. I just don't remember if we did. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,